video, I'm going to share 2 principles that are not only going to make you better at laying pipe, they're going to make you better at every step along the way. Flirting, kissing, heavy petting, fingering, oral, you name it. These 2 concepts are just plain old crucial for pleasing a woman in bed. And if you nail them, and I'm going to show you how, you are going to give her bigger, better, and more frequent orgasms. You can expect your lovemaking sessions to go on for longer, and you're going to feel more connected with her the whole way. And not just her pleasure, your pleasure as well. I'm talking about titration and variation. I'm sex and relationship coach Caitlin V. If you want to be the best possible lover for yourself and others, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, where I release 2 videos every single week, giving you my professional opinions, advice, and personal experience on how to be the best in bed. All right, before we dive into the how, let's quickly go over the what. You probably know what variation is, and I'll explain why it is so important and how to incorporate it in just a second. But first up, let's talk about titration. You might recognize this term from the doctor's office or the pharmacy, as it is often used to describe slowly coming on or off of prescription drugs. This is important because introducing something to the body too quickly or taking it away too quickly can cause a negative reaction, both in the medicine cabinet and in the bedroom. Titration is the process of carefully controlling the intensity and amount of stimulation to match her unique sexual response. This involves being present with her body so that you can monitor how she's reacting to whatever it is that you're doing. Once you have that information, you can adjust the intensity or pacing based on what her body is silently begging for you to do. Her body is communicating all of this all of the time. It is just about how you listen and respond. And variation goes hand in hand with this. Changing techniques, switching sensations and activities, and keeping things a little bit unpredictable are as important to an intense makeout session as they are for long-lasting, deeply satisfying sex. Even though you might have figured out that something works, predictability always eventually turns into boredom, and boredom doesn't get her wet. On top of that, incorporating titration and variation into your sex life helps you avoid overstimulation and numbness, which are both things that women frequently experience during sex. Here's the thing. So many of us just get into a routine. Some of us figured out what our last partner liked, what drove them wild, and we didn't simply repeat that with each new lover. And even if you're in a marriage, you can always fall into a similar trap. Remember, the clitoris that you married isn't exactly the same one as it is today. So maybe we know how to make our partner come fast. Maybe we feel like we found the magic button and all that good sex requires is that we push it whenever we get into bed. Well, if we are relying on the fastest and most reliable route, then we're missing the scenic route. Sometimes it's nice to hop on the freeway and just get from point A to point B as fast as possible. But that's not very romantic and certainly not very exciting, especially when there's like an oceanside scenic route with like beautiful cliffs and a sunset view. And let me assure you, most of our partners want us to take that route. We are dying for our partner to get out of the fast lane and enjoy the journey. So now that we're all on the same page, let's talk about how to put these 2 very important things into practice in 3 very important areas: kissing, oral, and sex itself. Let's start with kissing. Variation and titration in kissing can look like a lot of things. As a general rule, especially with a new partner, it is always smart to start slow and begin with light, soft kisses. As we are figuring out our partner's natural rhythm, we can gradually increase the passion and intensity. But this doesn't have to be a linear process. Get passionate and then pull back, go soft again. Move away from her lips and kiss her face and neck. And the same goes with the tongue action. There are so many nerve endings throughout your mouth, and they take time to warm up to intensity. Diving in with your tongue straight away probably isn't what your partner is looking for. So gradually build up to it and then intensify. Go back and forth between passionately making out and giving our partner some room to breathe and to yearn and desire for more. If you've ever heard the saying, everything in moderation, including moderation, that absolutely applies here too. Remember that I'm giving this advice as a general rule. There are going to be times, there are absolutely times where it is appropriate to just start with an explosive, passionate kiss. In fact, maybe you start a date by saying, look, I want to wait to kiss you. I want, by the time that our first kiss comes around, I want us to just explode on each other. That's super hot too. Again, the key is switching it up and also following her cues and your own desire. If we try to observe our partner's body language before and during the kiss, we're probably gonna know what to do. All right, on to oral sex. Now, I cannot tell you how many folks are missing out on exploration in this activity, because more than any other sexual activity, oral sex is the one where most of us tend to get into a routine. We feel like it works and we stick to the tried and the true. And again, time to start taking the scenic route. Start the process of oral gradually. Tease her around those less sensitive areas with your lips and your tongue and even your fingers before moving into the more intense pleasure zones. Vary your technique between slow and sensual licks and quicker, more direct stimulation. Another thing that we can do is take little breaks here and there. Stop to kiss and caress other areas of her body. Taking little breaks can help reset her sensitivity levels and make it feel that much better when you jump back in. Now, generally, I suggest doing this near the beginning and the middle of going down on her. Eventually, you are going to find a thing that works, and that's going to be the thing that takes her over the edge. And when she is getting close, that is not the time to stop. Just keep doing what you're doing until she has that orgasm. Best advice I could give you. Lastly, you want to alternate the rhythm, pressure, and the focus areas. Experiment with different tongue movements and levels of suction or pressure towards her body. I know it can get kind of exciting down there, and it's easy to just kind of get into hyper focus mode or to focus on techniques or to get in your head about like, am I doing this right? We've got to make sure that we don't lose focus on how our partner's body is reacting. If she's grinding into you, then that might be your cue to level up the intensity. And if she pulls slightly back, then it's possible you're going too hard. She's giving us all of the information that we need to give her the best head of her life. All we have to do is pay attention. Last but not least, let's talk intercourse. Titration and variation are your super not so secret weapons during the act of intercourse itself. First of all, be mindful of when you begin to have penetrative sex. We don't want to start too soon. We want to make sure that we have done all of the work in the kissing and the fingering and the oral and touching in all those stages. We should be using foreplay to maintain a high level of arousal and anticipation. Remember, it's okay to take breaks, to laugh, to cry, to grab a glass of water. This creates different kinds of intimacy during sex. These are the things that keep a connection alive and keep us in the moment, responding to what's actually happening between two bodies, not what we wish was happening. And then when we are both truly, deeply, desperately ready for penetration, and I mean desperate for penetration, just make sure to start slow and titrate. Give her a little bit at first, then a little more, then a little more, then a lot more, then a lot more, and then a lot more, and then a little less. Again, there are times where we both want to just get it in and get to it and get hard and fast and like right now, bump, go. But for the most part, and especially with a new partner, if we're not sure what their body is telling us, or if she hasn't said it directly, it is always a safer bet to start gently and listen deeply, both to what she says and what her body says, and go from there. There are lots of ways to introduce variety into intercourse. The most obvious, perhaps, is to vary your pacing and rhythm with thrusting. Start with shallow penetration. That is an incredible way to tease her. And even once you've gotten into a more intense flow, briefly slowing down, going gentler, is an amazing way to amplify pleasure. Again, what does her body need and what does your body need? She will feel like she never knows what to expect with you, but that it is always exactly what she needs. In fact, I made an entire video just about thrusting techniques. I will add a link to that below. You can watch that one next. Now, of course, changing positions is another way to increase variety. Different positions give our partner different sensations, especially for women, because the angle is different. New nerve endings are going to be stimulated in different ways. Now, all women have unique preferences here too. It is important to experiment to figure out what she's in the mood for on that specific occasion. I also made a video on what different sex positions feel like for women, and you're going to want to check that one out after we're done here. Switching positions helps prevent the body from adapting to one specific sensation, which again can lead to numbness and make it harder to reach orgasm. The important part, again, is always listening to her body. Now, like all advice, it is important to be intentional about how and when you are applying these techniques. If you are familiar with edging, which you should be because you are a subscriber to this channel, you know that it can feel amazing to build up excitement and higher levels of satisfaction. But when you're ready to take her over the edge and she's very clearly into what you're doing, not the time to use variety or titration. Like I said before, just keep going, don't stop, just right there, keep going. And during those times when you feel like you could take her pleasure levels higher, then switching it up is the answer that you are looking for. Oh, And one more note on titration. Just as we build up our way to a big orgasm slowly by titrating, adding more over time, we also need to back down away from that orgasm slowly too. Be careful not to suddenly remove your touch, not to jump up, run away, do other things that would break the connection between the two of you in those sweet post-O blissful moments. We've got to take our time to land the plane so that we are sure to get invited back again and again to take off. And there you have it. Keeping titration and variation in mind in all aspects of your lovemaking will absolutely make you a better, more connected lover. By building up slowly and adding more pressure, speed, and intensity over time, we will take our lovers on a journey that is customized to their body and their nervous system. And by taking breaks, changing patterns, and avoiding repetitive actions, we effectively scramble our partner's nerve endings, preventing them from getting too used to a specific type of stimulation. This leads to deeper connection, more pleasure, and more intense orgasms. 3 things I think we can all get on board for. I'm Caitlin V. Thanks for watching. Please write in the comments about how you use these concepts, titration and variation, in your own sex life. And make sure while you're down there that you are subscribed so you don't miss any other videos designed to level up your bedroom game. I'll see you here later. Bye-bye.